At Techstars, our mission is to help entrepreneurs succeed. We scour the internet and pulled the most asked questions about startups and entrepreneurship. Here's what the Techstars ecosystem had to say about fundraising for your startup.
Research, research, research. It is very, very important that they research the people that they're asking for their time and that they're hoping to get an investment for. The more that you have research done and understanding the verticals and the way they invest and the way that they're expecting to be involved in your company after the check is cut, you're going to have a much better chance of closing a check and having a successful relationship.
You're not going to get a meeting with an investor who you're not on thesis with or who doesn't invest in your stage. So do your homework first. And it's easy to do. They want to make this obvious because they don't want to waste their time. So they publish on their website what they're looking for, like what size checks they write and what stage company they're looking for and what their thesis is.
You have to create a very large prospect list of investors that you're personalizing each message to each individual investor.
They want to hear something that is big. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to talk numbers. They want a big story. They want to believe that they are going to be part of something very big. Don't be shy about talking about the future, about like your vision and so forth. But make sure you have conviction in it.
Skip the buzzwords and go straight into what you do and who you do it for. This is what not to do. Mousetrap AI is a revolutionary IoT, AI-enabled, decentralized platform that is going to revolutionize the pest control industry. Instead, say what Mousetrap does. Mousetrap AI catches mice humanely for restaurants in New York. And it will be much easier for investors to understand what you do and who you do it for.
A lot of people think it's all about the slides and the story, but the first thing is, do you have traction that genuinely demonstrates the fact that you have a viable business? And the second part of it is, as a founder, you often are communicating everything that's happened in your journey to get to where you are, and people's attention spans are really small. So the lesser data points that you can tell in your story, which makes it more coherent, the better it is for the investor because it makes sense. One thing I've learned is that no one rewards you for the journey. The journey is a rite of passage. The outcome is what you want to be communicating, and doing that with confidence and as a coherent story.
As much as a lot of investors might say they like to accept cold outreach, I'm not really sure the conversion rate on what that looks like. I would definitely recommend, if you can, finding a mutual connection. Or if you don't have that route, like a lot of investors are on Twitter, maybe reply to their tweets, like send them things they might be interested in, build a rapport like you would with anyone on the internet.
I get a bunch of emails every day of founders looking for investment. Most of the time, those emails are mass emails. That is likely not going to get a response because I have way too many emails. But the email that says, hey Andres, I saw your post on product market fit and I heard your video from the podcast on this, and that. This is what I applied in my company following your advice, and this is what I learned. I would love to share more with you and see if we're a fit. That is more specific, that is more likely to get a response.
Do your diligence on these investors, both before you reach out and on those calls. Know their portfolio companies, who's synergistic with you, know the partner themselves that you're speaking to, their background, and be able to talk about that or put that in your intro email.
You must over-prepare. Almost everyone is going with just a pitch deck. You need to go with a full data room.
Time box your fundraising process, keep it tight to 3 months so that it doesn't drag on forever and you lose focus on your business.
You don't just try to fundraise. In the wise words of Yoda, there is no try, there's do or not do. You're not just part-time fundraising. Fundraising is a full-time effort, and there are 3 steps to it. It's ready, set, go. You're ready when you have a very clear strategic plan of where you're headed as a business, and you can articulate the reasons why an investor might be interested. And then you're set when you have all your materials ready, your investment deck, your one-pager that's going to get you the meeting, your data room, your financial model, and you have a clear list of the investors that you're going to target, which takes a lot of research. You have to know who might be interested in you and why. Then you go. You start going out to that list of investors, try to get meetings as quickly as you can, as tightly packed as you can, so there's scarcity. You want your calendar full with back-to-back meetings, and then start moving people on through your process to ultimately, hopefully get a competitive process by the end to get some checks.
Don't call it revenue. For as long as you can get away with it, call it a monetization experiment. The moment you call it revenue, it becomes a spreadsheet conversation. Oh, you have $50,000 a month, why not $60,000 a month? Oh, you're making $1 million a month, why not $2 million a month? So for as long as you can get away with it, call it a monetization experiment.
When I think about red flags for VCs, one specifically for female founders is you can recognize internalized misogyny pretty quickly by the style of question you're being asked, preventative versus proactive questions, and picking up on those very quickly, either being able to reposition them yourself or just noting that person might not be for you will save you a lot of time in the process.
Two common red flags that I've seen as thematic issues is just being late and being very late for meetings usually is not a good sign. And then the second thing is when VCs are unwilling to let you speak with other founders that they've invested in and allow you to do reference checks as well, it's not a great sign.
Negotiating terms can be difficult. I always tell folks that don't try to be a lawyer if you don't have to be. Wherever possible, if you can get good legal advice and have someone who has legal expertise really just fully break down a term sheet, that's super helpful.
Especially if this is the first round you're raising. You can do high resolution fundraising or tranche fundraise, which means you reward earlier investors, the ones that commit first, with lower valuation caps. And as the round starts filling up, you increase the valuation caps.
Early stage founders automatically assume that funding and getting funding is the win. Funding and fundraising is only a tool. The number one thing they need to be focused on is scaling a company to the next level of height and being able to create a repeatable solution that makes them money, but also makes it easier to get future funding.
Be comfortable hearing no. It's okay to hear no. Not everyone's going to be an investor. You just need one yes.